Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and before I get round to doing my review of Dr. No, here I am just going to quickly do a review for a French 21-minute film, Chien Andalou, or Andalusian Dog. So, let's get on with, I'm just going to call it this film because it's just tricky in both French and English to say. So, before we start, I have to say the title doesn't really, it's misleading. There is no dog in this, of any type. I suppose it could be a reference to the man, or one of the male characters, but he doesn't quite work with that context, and even with the similarities or references to the character, it still doesn't work. So there isn't really that much of a plot here. It's an artsy experimental film from 1929, but what we can see is there is this guy doing some weird stuff, and there's this other woman reacting to it. Well, the first scene shows a guy having a smoke, and then he puts a razor in a woman's eye and then cuts it, and then we go to another scene where we have this guy on a bike fall over for no particular reason, and a woman rushes him inside. And then there's this other guy who has ants in his hand, and they're coming out of his palm. Some actually pretty great production values there for those bits. And then there's a severed hand in the street, and a woman's poking it with a stick. Police are shoving people away. Then later on, the woman gets run over by a car for just standing there. Idiot. And things then go even weirder when the man with the ants in his hand then attempts to sexually assault the woman in the house, and even has fantasies of touching her breasts and bottom, much to her disgust. And soon eventually he's trying to get at her, but for some reason he then has to drag two pianos with a donkey on them each, a dead donkey, oozing blood, and a man underneath each rope. So you've got two men underneath two ropes, pulling two pianos with two dead donkeys oozing blood on them. And he's just dragging them. She's trying to drag them just to try and get the woman. It's like they're holding him back, but he's pulling them forward. I don't know what's going on. The woman manages to get into the other room, and the guy just drops everything and tries to get in. He puts his hand out, and we can see the ants in the hand again. And then we see another guy berating the guy in the bed later. And then we cut back to 16 years earlier, where they're kind of playing a game, but then one of them books into guns and kills the other guy, who then teleports himself to a woodland where he touches a woman's back, but then she fades. And then some other guys come around looking at him like they did in the street with the other woman, and two guys who are the filmmakers making their cameo here make an appearance. And then the woman from earlier is on the beach with another lover after escaping from the nasty man, and then we find them dead the next morning, and that's it. There's also some tie-ins to some things that were thrown out from a window at the house that is actually found on the beach. Nice tie-in, I'll say. I will also say that people who like to tidy up beaches are going to be pissed. So that's this film. Oh, goodness, this is a crazy story. Not even a story, there's not really that much of a story here. It's a crazy film. You know what? This film's too crazy to be reviewed. I'm just going to give my score and just leave. Chien Andalou. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Interesting. It's very well done. The production values and the practical effects are brilliant, unlike Casino Royale 1954, which was actually made about 25 years later. and that was for television. This was probably just, well, I don't know if it was a film at the cinema, but it would have been, certainly with the budget of a 25-minute long one at the time. I mean, you could have hour-and-a-half ones as well, like Sunrise, but it was still, it's pretty short, so it probably still would be shown at the time. So yeah, that's this film. It's entertaining, but weird. You're going to be more confused than you are enjoyed. It's good to watch at least once, providing you're over the age of 15, because it's a 15. I mean, you wouldn't want to let a under 15 look at those breasts, would you? Or that bottom. And the slitting of the eye and the ants coming up the hands, fair enough. To be honest, I thought this would probably be a 12, but it does make sense being a 15. Maybe it would have been better if there was kind of a middle ground, but yeah, 15 works, I suppose. So that's it from this film. It's a pretty quick review, but there's not really much to critique. It's pretty much executed well. It's just that the story doesn't really make any sense, which is probably the point, but because of that, is a bit of a failure in that sense. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for my review of Dr. No. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel.